You're watching Grillo's Aftershock XL. Each week, former Howard Stern intern Steve Grillo hosts celebrity guests and friends on his show. Tonight, Grillo hosts this special guest. This is Grillo's Aftershock XL. Here's your host, Steve Grillo.
Wait, I'm a host? No one told me that. What's up, everybody? Live from Hell's Kitchen, Pandemic Central, right here in my living room. Well, I'm not going to give out my address. Fuck you. I need you guys stalking me. Not that anybody's going to stalk me. But another show, another live show here on Grillo's Aftershock XL. Trying to keep it together. It's all I can do. I'm all shiny. I took a shower. I wish Scott from Pro Media was here. He always has that things that make my head not like a light bulb. Hope everybody's well. I hope your family's well. Hope you're coping with this as best you can. As I'm all crooked. Look at that. I have such bad posture. My neck looks like it's on one side. Again, hope everybody's well. Doing another show from Pandemic State, New York. Just so surreal. So many things going on, but I have some awesome people waiting in the wings. First, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. My numbers are getting bigger, bigger, bigger. Appreciate that so much. It means a lot. It means you like me. You really like me. Anyway, got some interesting things to talk about tonight. You could always go, if you're bored, to go and check out all the merch that we have. Noah, you want to put up a little merch thing? We have awesome graphic stuff for you to buy. Who can't live without an Aftershock XL face mask? I don't understand. Especially now, you can't go anywhere without a face mask, and it's just so wrong. Because if you're sick, you should have. That's my favorite right there. If you're sick, you should have a face mask. And I don't know. Well, we got some people here that are waiting in the wings to talk, and I'm excited. One person they're two of my favorite people in the world. And one of them was a big part of Grillo's Aftershock XL before all this shit went down. It's Mr. Jesse Nash.
Hey.
Journalist extraordinaire. And the how do I put her name? It's Monique from Radio Gunk, the expert in hating Howard Stern.
Hi.
Hi.
I miss sitting on that couch that you have right behind you. I know. You so much.
Miss you. That couch right there.
That couch right there.
Yeah. Monique's a neighbor. Monique has started. It's funny. The great story about Monique was, I'll do anybody's podcast and shit like that. And so we somehow or another she got in touch with me. I don't remember the initial interaction, but I remember I was at McCoy's and you're like, do you want to call in my show? And I was like, well, where are you doing your show? And she's like, well, I'm in Hell's Kitchen. And I'm like, yeah, where? She's like 52nd Street between 8th and 9th. I'm like, I'm on 9th Avenue between 51st and 52nd. And Monique was like, come up. And then we got loaded and did a show, and it was great.
It was so much fun. And we've been friends ever since. So that was like at least 3.5, almost 4 years ago.
And then we figured out that we have like some sick, amazing, awesome people that we are like really close with, like as mutual friends. It was so awesome.
Ridiculous. Steve Grillo is 6 degrees of separation from everybody I know.
It's ridiculous.
Even models yeah. I had that used to do swim modeling for me. I mean, just ridiculous, random human beings. And I cannot wait to be back in New York with you. Really.
Yeah, I know. I miss you too. And then there's Jesse Nash harboring out in the Hamptons. Is that still correct?
Yeah, man. I mean, I tell you, I used to curse under my breath living out here. And now I'm like the king of my world, I mean, I never in a million years would have imagined that living here would keep me sane.
Wow. Well, no, Jesse, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm a little more lax in how I am because, hey, I'm a single guy. I don't have kids and a wife to provide for, and I'm just also a maniac. But you were from day one all over this coronavirus thing, and you knew and predicted and was on point about everything that happened. Everything that you said was going to happen actually happened.
The crazy part of it, I'm very tired of this subject because it's on everybody's breath, and it's just very hard to debate this. I'll tell you what the biggest problem is. Nobody tells the fucking truth. That's the problem.
I think that's a big problem.
There is so much information out there that is so fucking bogus, that is so all over the place. And it's been politicized. I have my Trump friends who speak one way, and they're all citing sites like The Hill or Fox News. And then you have the left wing, which is CNN and Washington Post, New York Times. I'm sick of it all. You know what? We're all, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to each and every one of us using common fucking sense to figure it out and to make the right choices.
It's like one day you should wear a mask, one day you shouldn't wear a mask, one day
I am wearing a mask.
Yeah, take it off, please.
I'm in Florida, and what's been politicized is wearing a mask versus not wearing a mask. Like, you're on one side or the fucking other. And you know what? There's way too many old people down here for me to not respect a store's, saying that I need to wear a mask in it. I don't care. I mean, so fucking what? For the 5-10 minutes that I need to be in a store, I'll wear a mask. It's okay. But everywhere else,
like, if I put this schmata on my face, people are okay with it, right? But this schmata is not going to do shit. Well, but if it's on my face, it makes it feel better.
It's prophylactic.
You hit it on the head. You just said, I'm not going to, there's too many old people. Too many people are sitting there going, my rights, my rights. You know what? That's a selfish act. It's not about you. It's about us. It's about being considerate to the person next to you. You'll get your rights. Your rights are invalid right now because of what's going on. We have a new set of rules to protect one another. And that's it. And you hit it on the head. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I thank you. But the reality is that, listen, Florida opened up. Nothing made me happier than to go out to a restaurant and have some sushi and some sake. Nothing fucking makes me more thrilled than to be able to sit down somewhere and have a meatball parm hero. Like, nothing makes me happier than socialization that I so desperately wanted back in my life. And for that, I'm really appreciative, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's weird in New York because my block specifically, they have barricaded the blocks. Some blocks for like a couple hours a day, and they're letting people go into the street. The kids could come out and ride their bikes up and down.
Oh, nice.
But there's the bar Jasper's on my corner.
Yeah.
Where they're open for takeout, and people are grabbing drinks and standing in the street. But they told that they shut us down. They were like, if you're not ordering food, you can't be here. You have to go home. And it's like, what? I'm in a public street. I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, it's like we did it out of respect for Jasper's because they were just about to get fined. But there's a double standard going around about what you can and cannot do, where and when, and like what they're picking and choosing who they're going to harass with fines. And it's really kind of odd and surreal. Like I keep saying, every day I wake up, it's like a brand new movie.
Wow. Is McCoy's open?
No.
So you can't say, I was under the impression that all of a sudden New York was becoming like a summertime New Orleans where we'd be able to order drinks and hang out in the street.
If I took my phone downstairs and went downstairs right now, there's Posh that's right next to me.
Yep.
And then Jasper's. And Posh is a
Posh is a little bit of a pole fancy place though.
Yeah, no, but Posh is a popular gay club. Yep. But Hell's Kitchen is a predominantly gay community, which is awesome. I feel so protected in this neighborhood because everybody cares for everybody. And there's a lot of people down there. If I went down there to show you right now, I guarantee there's 40, 50 people on the sidewalk. Safe distancing with masks on or drinking and doing what they got to do. But then the cops come and just pick and choose. Like I worked at Dorian's a couple weeks ago. They made Dorian's the poster child of what's going on. Like if you would have went down, why? Because Dorian's is Dorian's. We all know
Dorian's is Dorian's.
I know, but they did the Dorian's is also up and everybody hung out.
Dorian's is also down the block. Down the block from Gracie Mansion. But people this was happening all over the city. This is my point. This was happening all over the city. It was happening down on Ludlow Street. It was happening on 9th Avenue. It was happening on the Lower East Side. It was happening everywhere. Avenue D, which has been doing this since day one. Avenue D and 5th Street is like a block party every day. No masks. Everybody's drunk. They don't care. So, but they chose Dorian's because Dorian's has got the name and it's also the mayor's got a hard on for them.
Right.
Every news crew made it seem like Dorian's started this thing.
Right, and they're packing people in. Nobody's wearing a mask. Everybody's fucked up. Listen, you know what the bottom line to me, and I've said this on my show, there's 330 million of us in America, and 100,000 people have passed away. A couple million more have had the virus. I know a couple million more are going to have the virus. I think, but the odds are in our favor. Generally, the odds are in our favor of not having a catastrophic illness and dying. And so, you know what? If I had to take the hit and knew that at the end of the day I'd be okay, I'd be happy to get the virus and go on my fucking way. Seriously.
Yeah. I'm older than you, and I don't want to get this fucking virus.
I understand that, but in New York, the fear is so palpable, and everybody has it, but not really in the rest of the country. I got to tell you, it's not like that everywhere else. You know, people aren't as scared as we are in the tri-state area.
Yeah, no, you got a great point. I mean, we think about it because we're in the hot zone. We're in the epicenter. Yeah, you know. But,
it's the density.
But I'll tell you, you know, I mean, going for a gallon of milk is the most stressful fucking episode.
Really, man. Jesse, I feel bad for you. Like I've got to the point where I just don't care anymore. Like I'm at the point where I literally
go to the grocery store. You go to
no, you don't understand. My job is to go all over the city.
All right,
Monday, Tuesday, I'm down on the Lower East Side in Alphabet City. Today, I'm in 9th and 10th Avenue, and you know, I forget sometimes to put my mask on. I forget to even bring my mask outside because it's not that I'm not scared. I don't know. I just like I've been sick before. I'm not necessarily healthy due to the drinking that I do, but you know, I'm not. I'm kind of not that worried about it.
Can someone please refill my glass?
Yeah. Where's your wife? Go just, dear, chop.
Fuck you, Jack.
Okay, listen, Grillo's an essential worker, damn it. We need him. Yeah. He is the alcohol supplier.
I do.
We need him.
So here's one thing that I wanted to bring up, and I everybody knows I stay away from politics and religion and shit like this, but I want this to be a logic discussion, okay? Because it's like there's a lack of logic and reason in this day and age right now, and I understand there's emotions and hatred, and Twitter is like an important thing, and we all use Twitter, and we all talk on Twitter, and we all use Twitter to give it our opinion or share our shows and do everything. And I saw something that it was down the line, right down the line of this Trump and the Twitter thing. And I want to get your opinions on this. Twitter, in the beginning, labeled themselves as not unbiased, and it was a platform. Whereas, say, a newspaper is giving information. So they said that they didn't want to be responsible for the information that people put out there. So they just said they were a platform, and anybody can say anything, but they can't sue Twitter because they don't have a bias or an opinion, or they don't investigate any facts that anybody puts up. So that's why no one can sue Twitter. So the fact that they are fact-checking Trump now makes them not that platform anymore. Now that they just changed that, anybody that puts a opinion or something about someone else on Twitter, Twitter's supposed to be responsible for it just as a newspaper would. And that's how I heard someone explain it into a logical way. Now, what do you guys think about that?
That's a very good conversation, because I'll tell you, in plain speak, it's very simple. You know, enough of the fucking lies. Enough of the lies. And you know, you can't just keep saying whatever the fuck you want when you're the president of the United States and not be accountable. You know, they had an interview with a bunch of kids who are partying out in the Ozarks, and they interviewed the kid and they said, you know, aren't you going to wear a mask? Look at all these people. He says, well, my president doesn't wear a mask, so, you know, my president doesn't need a mask, neither do I. He's influencing people. He's influencing people and young people. And this is what's wrong with what's going on.
No, but I just said, I don't want to make this like, it's not a political, it's not on one side or one side, but this is like,
to talk about what Twitter's doing.
We're all, you know, it's, I didn't mean to go for a Trump thing or a Biden thing.
Well, unfortunately,
what I'm talking about is like the legality of what Twitter did.
There is no legality. Like, listen,
because
the reality is
they no longer, once you fact check, you're now not a platform, you're like a publication.
Steve,
Like,
it's a private company. They can do whatever the fuck they want. That's number one.
Well, so is the New York Post.
That's exactly right. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
So the New York Post. Hold on a second. 1 second. It's not an argument, but 1 second. The Post puts out an article that says Jesse Nash likes to fuck monkeys.
Okay.
Right, and they publish it.
That's right. So Jesse has all the rights to sue them. Jesse can sue, or Jesse can let it go.
All right. So now,
or Jesse can say, bring on that monkey that
Exactly. Let's see the fucking baby gorilla that you fucked.
So now, the other aspect of it is because they're responsible for the content that they put out. Twitter made the point that from the beginning they're not responsible for anybody's content that they put out. So now that they're fact checking, that means now they're almost as liable. It's just a question, not a statement.
It's a good question.
Are they as liable? And Jesse, you're a journalist. Are they as liable as the New York Post by not fact checking everybody now?
That's a great question. And you know what? Does that by saying, well, you know what they're doing? Wait a minute.
If you do it to one person, you got to do it to everybody, right?
No,
wait a minute. They're doing something that I think absolves them from any legal recourse. They're putting a link that says, know the facts. So if Trump says that you don't need a mask, blah, 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 they will put a link that in that tweet that says, here is what we know. Here is the facts as we know them.
Okay. No, I'm just curious because you're a journalist and you're smart.
It's a great question, and it's a question, and I think it's something that everybody should have a comprehension of. By doing that, it allows them to escape any recourse, because what it is doing is putting out what we know. Is it fact? It's the facts up to this moment, but it's a precedent that's being set by saying we can't just keep putting stuff out there and nobody knows what truth is anymore. Nobody knows what's not. It's affected everything.
Oh, hold on, Chess. Hold on a sec. And I want to stay where you are. Can you somehow or another maybe bring the phone a little closer because your volume's a little lower and you're saying some interesting things? That's much better.
Okay. No, so I'm just saying that, the fact that, so many people are saying whatever the hell they want. I don't, legally, I don't think Jack Dorsey has a thing to worry about. But I think it's a statement that's powerful to me, because my biggest complaint is the more, and I think it's done on purpose, the more you put out misinformation, the line of truth and falsity gets blurred. In a court of law, if you can't prove that somebody's statement or action is illegal beyond the reasonable doubt, they go free. Kellyanne Conway, when she was on with Jake Tepper a while back,
I've been at her house, right?
No,
not with her.
Conway.
Yeah, it's probably a story I shouldn't get into. But
still married.
I was at her house.
That's in the back of my brain to bring back up in a moment. Yeah. Can I just
anyway, just to finish my thought. The fact is that she was being interviewed by Jake Tepper, and she said to Jake Tepper, Tepper presented the truth, and it was the truth. And you know what her response was? And this was the tipping point that's led to all of this. Well, that's your version of the truth. This is mine. And she got away with it. And it set a horrible precedent, because now everything that's being put out there is being put out there as though it's truth. And we know that that's, it's not the case. But when you have a pandemic and your life is at stake, truth can, without getting the truth, it can kill you. And now we need to figure out, we need to actually figure this out ourselves. At the end of the day, it's going to be all up to each and every one of us to use common sense and to make decisions based on that, and to keep the white noise out, because people are being poisoned by information that could kill them. Drink Clorox?
Yeah, okay. Well, that's not no. That's not the point. That's not the point of this. The point is what the specific of
who put that picture up?
You motherfucker.
Keep it there. Keep it there.
That was good. That was
good. Okay.
All right,
Jesse's rambling on. I'm texting Noah. Find a picture of the Wicked Witch.
Listen, okay. Let me just make a point about the Twitter thing. It's a slippery slope to start to challenge things that everybody says, right? But what's going to wind up happening?
Listen, the witch is speaking. Everybody.
That's right. That's right. It is fucking perfect. You can't pick and choose. So this was particularly about voter fraud and about mail-in votes. And he was wrong, and it was an outright lie. And I think most people are smart enough. Listen, the 90-year-old guy who's going to run out on his fucking jazzy and vote for Trump is not on Twitter. Is not on Twitter. So they're not the person that this is aimed at. And I think that everybody has taken their side. Everybody has their marbles. They've chosen sides, and it's done.
It's aimed at his power base.
So there's nothing, and I think it's a slippery slope for him, because if they do it for that, then, listen, legally, this could go on for 2 fucking years if they wanted it to. It's not going to change anything for November, and they can do it as much as they want. And if he doesn't have that platform, he's dead. He's fucking dead without that platform. And everybody knows it.
Let me ask you something. Do you think if he loses, he'll go peacefully?
No.
Oh, that's bad.
No, I don't.
Well, if he loses, he's got to go. He's got to eat it like fucking Hillary had to eat it.
I think he has to, but I think he'll do everything. I think November and December will be brutal.
I'm just sorry. I wish somebody else better was running after him. Like Biden said one of the most racist things. You know what? Let's stay off of politics. I don't like
stay off of politics.
Let's talk about duty.
We don't want to
talk
be
about
that.
the Stern Show.
We don't want to be that show.
It's just because you know what? It's funny. It's funny. Let's all agree that it's fucked up on both sides, and we're all screwed.
You know what? We're not screwed, and whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen in November. Whatever it is, it is. That's it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, we're losing people talking about politics.
What are we going to watch? Because the shows, the movies have been, the production shut down. There's no television shows. We're watching.
It's coming back. It's coming back.
Yeah?
Yeah, soon. Within the next couple of weeks.
What are you eating there? What kind of delicious treat are you eating there?
Oh, it's great. It's a party mix I invented. It's Utz red. It's Utz's.
Love Utz's.
Red hot, right? Utz's red hot with extra toasty Cheez-Its and cheddar rolls gold. It's fucking unbelievable.
The virus can't touch Steve eating that shit.
No way.
He's built an orange barrier between himself and the rest of the fucking world.
Much like Trump, an orange barrier.
Can I talk about a thing that somebody posted to me?
Okay, well, I know you said something interesting and earlier. Go ahead, talk about the thing that someone posted.
Okay, so somebody actually sent me this email, and it said the following. I had posted a picture of Artie, and we were asking whether or not this was a real picture of him. And it was a picture where it appeared that he had shaved his head, he still had the bad nose, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no, well, Noah has that picture. You could see it. They actually put it next to a picture of Crackhead Bob, and it was pretty uncanny.
Yeah,
but you said it was photoshopped. And I don't see why it would be photoshopped. Shaving your head is like sort of a cleansing thing. So I would think because he has like almost no hair, he was thinning and stuff. So maybe it was something that he did just to say fuck it because he couldn't get his hair cut.
All right. So if you have the picture, I'd love to see it. Okay,
Noah has it. I'm just like he's looking for it.
So here's what I got.
His head?
Yeah. Supposedly, Monique thinks it's a Photoshop, but I don't see why it would be a Photoshop. But maybe, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody.
You all can be the judges. So here's what I got. It says, Artie is gone for good. The stupid prick failed a drug test and they sent him up the river for 3 to 5 years.
Fuck.
Confirmed, absolutely. My cousin saw him in jail. He was telling jokes about white people in the shower.
He's back in jail?
I don't know that that's true. That's why I'm asking you guys.
Where are you reading this from?
Somebody sent me an email.
Okay.
Oh my!
I get shit all the time.
You do get everything. Look,
Okay, what do you guys think?
Well, hold on a second. Well, I did text Artie's manager a couple of weeks ago, and I said, the last thing I said was, "Hey, pal, hope you and your family are well. Was just wondering about my man. Hope he's well too." He goes, "Hey, Steve, got your voicemail. Artie is fine, just staying home like everyone else." And that was the last thing I got from Artie's manager, and that was
when was that? When was that?
May 4th.
Okay. And when did you read that text exchange?
Yesterday.
And who was that from?
She can't reveal. You know your sources. You don't reveal.
No, is it a journalist or another comedian? I'm just curious.
Neither. Just a random.
It's somebody that's got people in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess so.
The dark side of Monique.
But I kind of, yeah, exactly. But I kind of feel like I don't really believe it. Although nobody has heard from Artie, right? Like, even though you.
No, I texted him a couple times. I had a pretty like awesome text relationship with Artie. How you doing? This and that, back and forth. It wasn't like detailed, but he always eventually got back to me. And since he's sort of been on the DL, he hasn't got back to me at all, and that's why I reached out to his manager.
Has Stacey pressed me? Because I know Stacey.
Well, no, you know, I almost had Mike Bacchetti on the show tonight, but he had a Zoom call. Maybe we'll do another. No, maybe we'll do a show with him tomorrow. But he had something to do at 6:00, and I feel bad because Mike's such a sweetheart, and he's been a part of Artie's show when he was on, all those other different things, and he's one of them. I laugh at that guy so much because he's just so awkward when he tells his jokes. And I don't know if you ever seen him do his stand up, but it's like, he's like, like, it's like you laugh at his reaction to him telling the jokes.
Someone's tickling his balls,
Yeah.
Steve, do you remember? Do you remember when we were at Stacey Pressman's birthday party and he ordered a water and somebody else ordered he ordered a water with lime or lemon, and somebody else ordered a vodka with lemon, and I gave him the vodka instead of giving him the water. Oh my God, he was so upset with me. He's like, "What the fuck?
I've been sober.
I've been sober for 20." It's like, how could I possibly know the difference?
I did something like that. And this is kind of a fucked up story, but so I was bartending at a bar, and this guy comes up and he goes, "Yo, look, man, I really want to have sex with this girl." He goes, "I'm going to order a shot, 2 shots, charge me, but give me water. Because I want to fucking get her drunk so I could fuck her." So I was like, so I realized like after the 3rd, 4th shot, I was like, this is kind of fucked up. I don't like it. So I poured vodka in one of the shot glasses. And he did the shot and he goes, "Dude, that was supposed to be water." I was like, "Oh, was that yours?" I got confused. And he goes, and I did it on purpose. He goes, "I've been sober for 25 years.
Wow. He was going a dick move on
that's what you get for trying to date rape a girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was at Mr. Biggs.
So what do you guys what are your days like in New York right now?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just sort of like business as usual. Like I get up, phone, do my job and come home and get drunk with my friends.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like 7 days a week for the past 3 months.
You going up on the roof? You going up on the roof?
Yeah, 7 o'clock every day. I got to watch the time. Every day, 7 o'clock. Well, the roof is open, yeah, but at 7 o'clock I go live. And then everybody, the whole city, like 6:55 I go live every day. And now if I don't go live, everybody starts getting pissed at me. I go live on the roof because the whole city erupts in thanks for all the people that are risking their lives out there. Yep. And it's pretty awesome. So now people, if I don't do it, they're like, I get people texting me, it's 6:55, where the fuck are you? So I out of thanks for them and everybody else, I go up to the roof and I do a little 10-minute live broadcast, and then I go and drink. What else you gonna do?
It's no different than when we were off pandemic. I mean, what's the difference?
So I'm not in the Stern world. You're in the Stern world, Monique. What's going on?
So I don't know what the fuck is going on. I have to tell you, it takes all the strength I have to actually pay attention to the show. And I mean that. It's like, it's so hard for me to follow what's going on because it's been awful. It's really been awful. And so I tend not to listen unless somebody tags me into like a listening thread or a post to let me know that, something interesting is going on. But other than that, there's nothing to be said. It's a horrible, horrible show. Sirius would be the worst run company in America if they actually kept him on again for another couple of years, which I can't believe they would.
So what was the latest thing you heard about what's going on over there? You haven't heard from any extraneous people like Richard Christie or Sal or Gary. It just sort of seems to be just Howard, Robin, and some other phony baloney celebrity.
Fred has made an appearance maybe 3 times in the last 3 weeks. He'll go to random people via Zoom. They don't even have real mics. They're just using their headphones and whatever. And he's more than happy to be sequestered in his house. I don't think he's coming back to the city. I really don't. I don't think he'll be here for another year. He's like Howard Hughes. He's just going to stay confined.
Well, he was always, when I worked there, he was a germaphobe. And he, I was one of the few people that got the pass that I was allowed to touch his shit and to do his, get his food and stuff like that. Because he didn't want anybody else touching it. And but I saw him awkwardly shake celebrities' hands, and this is going back 20-something years. I can't imagine, and that he wasn't Howie Mandel level, maybe 2 knocks behind Howie Mandel.
Yeah, I think so.
But this is like someone like this is his worst nightmare.
So I'm curious. I'm reading some of your chat. This guy says HS is on the top of his game, and I don't hear what you're hearing. I'm sorry. Coming on air, putting fear into everybody just in terms of how scary life is and how scary it is with the virus, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Here's one thing I want to say, and this is fucked up, and regardless of you're Trump or not, this has nothing to do with it. Jesse, I'm going to ask these real quick questions right now. Has anybody known that suffered through this?
Yes.
Okay, so you did. So Monique, how you have? I had Jeffrey Gurian on here, comedian. Jesse, you know him, and he talked about the suffering. He talked about the suffering that he went. Not only did he gone through, but the people that were in the beds next to him. And Howard always used to do stuff like this, but it was always specified towards one person. Like, say, for instance, like Mancow was his rival in Chicago, and he said. He found out his father was dying, and he says, "I hope his father dies a horrific death when he's done. I want to fuck his skull." That's sort of his MO. He did that to a lot of his enemies, but it was always directed towards one person. And he said something, and again, I wanted to keep it. I'm not here. I'm not there. But knowing that we all know people that did have the virus and how horribly they suffered, for him to say anybody that supports Trump, I hope you suffer through the coronavirus, was one of the worst things I think he's maybe ever said. And he said some fucked up things, and I always stood behind him. But just because someone has a political view that doesn't agree with you, and you're wishing the fact that they get the coronavirus and suffer horribly because they have a political view, you know him long enough.
You know him long enough to also know that he has basically what's essentially a dying, radio show, and he does things for publicity. That's what he does.
Yeah, I know,
and he knows he's going to get press when he talks Trump.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, this hypocrite was at his wedding.
Yeah,
he was at Trump's wedding. They were close friends.
This gives him press. Period. End of story. He does things.
I think I agree with Monique. I think you're right. People say shit. There's the stuff you say privately. Then there's the stuff you say on air. And if you have your ratings are suffering, Howard's a pro, man. He knows what to say to get attention when you want that attention. Look at Madonna. She's getting attention for all the wrong reasons, but she's still getting attention.
Right. Negative attention is as good as positive. And
there's no such thing as bad press.
And for a fact, when he came out with that shit book of his, which was basically just regurgitation of interviews he's done on his show and had about 4% new content in it. Every chapter there was a clip it on Trump. Every chapter. And knowing fully well that once he did interviews, they would go to that. And before he wrote the book, as you may or may not know, all the shit, I have tons of friends who put lots of like old stuff on YouTube and whatever. They went through and deleted every single Trump related comment.
You want to see something crazy? I can't believe I didn't tell you. So I'm walking down the street on Avenue B doing my job, and someone put out a bunch of books like they didn't want to throw them out.
I know where you're going with this.
Don't pay no attention to the Oh my God. You found that on the street?
Yeah, they were in a box. There was a bunch of other books, but these were not that they were throwing. Like, look, so everybody's got to like purge every once in a while.
Oh my God! Show everybody, Grillo. Please show everybody.
Yeah, show the front of the book. Yeah.
No. Show everybody the intro to you.
Okay. So wait. First of all, how do I pass this up on the street and let it go to garbage?
No, you can't.
Like I can't because the motherfucker is dedicated to me. Like I can't let it be on the street sitting there.
Show us. Show us the dedication. I love it.
Some people said it was a sign of the times. People are throwing out Howard Stern shit. I don't believe that. I think that it's. I think it's just this one person was just purging all their shit out of wherever, or maybe they had to move. They felt like it was wrong to throw out a book. So I will. So I'm going to show you my original. Hold on a second.
He's so funny.
So this was my prized possession. Okay, I had a fish tank in my old apartment. It was like a shelf with the fish tank, and then I had all my books underneath it. My roommate at one point accidentally bumped into my fish tank, and unbeknownst to me, created a hairline fracture to the filter, which was slowly dripping for months. Which you don't know that because it was just like drip, months, drip, drip, drip.
Oh my
then
God.
all of a sudden, my super keeps calling me up. He goes, "There's a leak in your apartment." And there was a wall, and this side was my kitchen sink, and the other side was my fish tank. They kept coming up and checking my kitchen sink. Nothing. 4 or 5 months. This leak is going on. Nothing. This is the original fucking private parts, the very first private parts, given to me out of the box from Howard Stern, where I read the dedication from. It's completely black molded. With water damage.
Oh, because of the filter?
I couldn't throw it out, but if you ever, there's like 4 garbage bags over it. If you ever cut this open, they would release another coronavirus.
It's like a mummified box.
I didn't have the heart to throw it out, but I didn't know it was leaking for months, 4 or 5 months. On my most prized possession. This is the first Miss America that came out of the box. That came out of the box. It's still squishy. It's squishy.
Oh, gross.
So I keep it because I didn't have the heart to throw it out. Maybe this is worth more money now. I don't know.
You're such a fucking hoarder. I can't believe you have that.
I am a hoarder. Okay, so
China.
Send it to China. So, all right. So, and I will tell another amusing story. I'm upstate with my mother. She has neuropathy. She can't really walk that well, but she loves garage sales. And there was a barn sale down the road. I said, "Mom, jump in the car. I'll take you to it." She's like, "Oh, she was so happy." Her thing was, "Stephen, you never know. You never know what you're going to find." So we go to this barn sale, and there's like, a bookshelf, and there's Miss America sitting on the barn shelf. It says $1. My mother's like, "Snatch. You think I'm going to let this sit on the shelf?" And she goes over to the guy, gives him $1, and she's like, "This is my son." Okay, so now I'll explain the story about
Get
what
around,
happened.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so I have like I'm a paranoid person from the start. Working on that show did not help with my paranoia. I had an anxiety dream that Howard said some awful shit about me in the book. And I didn't. It was really hard because I was like, coming closer to the book's release, I started feeling this awful anxiety, awful anxiety. And I remember it was time for me to walk down Howard, and he was in the hallway, and he goes, "Okay, I'm ready." He goes, and I said to him, I go, "I had a dream about the book last night." And he's like, like kind of had a weird reaction. He was like, "What? What do you mean you had a dream about the book? What about the book? What do you mean?" And I was like, "No, I'm just saying I had a dream about the book. It's going to be really good." That was my dream. But the real truth was, in the dream was, I was like, "You trashed the shit out of me in the book." But I didn't say that to him. So now the book's out. Now the book's out, and I'm already like, it's like this. And all of a sudden he's like, "Good morning, everybody. Today's we're releasing Miss America today. It's going to be a great day. Good book signing, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I want Grillo, come in here. I want to give the first book to you." I was like, like the air just left my lungs. I was like, hubba, 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 hubba. So he goes, "Here." And it's
and that's your fish shit.
This book is the first one that he cut out of the cardboard box. And he gives it to me, and he goes, "I want you to read the dedication." And I'm like, there was no thing in my brain that makes me think that this motherfucker dedicated a book to me. Okay? So I think it's going to be something completely horrible and embarrassing. So as I start reading it, you know when you can like scroll down a little and you see your name? I lost all the breath out of my lungs. I couldn't breathe.
Wow.
And so then when I got to like the word debt completely left my brain.
Which word?
Debt. Debit. And as I read it, I saw my name and I completely lost it. So I'll read it again one more time, properly. Should I do it in an Irish accent? Okay. I fucking dedicate this book to my interns, all of them, all the fucking college students that work for fucking free. They're bringing in huge energy, creativity, and experiment and excitement to my radio family. Like they do a lot of dirty work that isn't too glamorous. They deserve a lot of credit and seldom fucking get it. A special debit of gratitude to Steve fucking Grillo. For the last fucking 4 years, he's been my intern doing every lousy menial task for me for fucking free. And I never fucking paid him. Including getting my meals, opening the door to me in the building every morning at 5 a.m. He's fucking never late. He fucking never complains. And he always has a smile on his fucking face.
Now let me ask you a question. Did you write about that in your serial killer diary?
Which I have right here. I'm sure at some point it's my manifesto. But I did find one of the last days, 11/25/97, where I decided to fucking leave the show. I'm
Wait,
sure at some point.
Please explain to people about your manifesto diaries.
Hold on a second. So
psychotic rambling.
I have for years. It started out because I was working. I was going to school at Hunter College. I was working on the Stern Show. I was coaching at night. Like I was going to scores. I was doing all these things, and I was living my life on 2-hour naps. And I was in my early 20s. I didn't give a fuck. But I was like, I'm probably never gonna remember this. I'm never going to. No one's ever gonna believe me. And I should just start writing this shit down. So when I get older, at least I know I have a reference that I wasn't crazy, that it really happened. So I started with these. I didn't realize that Hell's Angels fucking support your local
Diary
nomad.
of a madman.
Yeah. So I started keeping literally if you go through them, they're like, oh wait, that's a cool picture. Hold on.
Where's the one that has the drawing in it?
Here's me on the set of NYP. I know what was that? Law and Order. I played a dead person.
Dead guy number 1.
Yeah, dead guy number 1.
You look so
Here's a cool picture. This is because I'm friends with a lot of like celebrities' children. This is Mia Tyler, Amanda Aday, and Antonia Bennett. Steven Tyler's daughter, Meatloaf's daughter, and Tonya Bennett's daughter at Brunelli's.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I keep like coming across like all this different shit that I have pictures. Nothing dirty, but like I filled out every line back and front. Like a mental patient.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
2 of them, unfortunately, Jesse, you know this person. 2 of them were with Claire O'Connor because we were going to write a couple of chapters to try to sell a book.
They're an Adam
and then yeah. Well, guess who has the other 2? Adam Baum. Guess where they are? Shit. Adam Baum has no fucking clue because he's still
that name. Oh my God.
So I'm recovering those.
I know he's alive.
I have 2 more somewhere. But okay, so all right, Noah, you want to cue this up? Hold on, let me get a little talk a little bit. Monique, what's up? Hold on a second.
So I did want to talk to you about something really ridiculous that is.
Monique, yeah, I have a good dermatologist. I have a very good dermatologist. It'll solve this problem in a heartbeat. A little dermabrasion, okay? A little dermabrasion. Who's doing all this shit? I love this guy.
I'm trying. That is so fucking funny.
Oh, where did that go? Fuck, where did that go? Son of a bitch.
Amazing.
That was good.
I'm fine.
Thank you, doctor. I'm cured.
That's amazing. Noah, I will get you for this.
Wait, no. You're gonna understand something. It's me texting Noah. I'm like, Dark Crystal, Mogra. He's like, what? I'm like, I had to go to IMDb to get the proper spelling for him to find it. So I just see me over there, like, trying to listen. Okay.
Okay. You want to.
Okay. So again, I can't read my handwriting. So I will read something where this is, I guess, a defining moment where I decided that I had to leave. Okay. Do cheesy intro right now. $11 $25.97. Well, it's the day before Thanksgiving. Christmas is in a month away, and the year is almost over. Fuck. A lot of things have happened. I am not sure if they are good or bad yet, but they are weighing heavy on my fucking head. Last week, being distraught as I have been for the last 100 months or so, over career purposes, of course, I wrote a letter to Howard on Lotus Notes. It basically expressed how fucked up and confused I am, and I asked him for advice, and also asked him to keep it between us. Now I am sure if I am reading this 20 years from now or so, someone else is reading it. You are probably saying, "What the fuck have you? What the fuck have you done, stupid? You didn't think he would read it on the air?" I am fleeting. It was a fleeting moment. In a moment of desperation, I thought that he might take a step back from his job and talk to me off the air, level-headed, as you can expect. No fucking way. He read it. It was as brutal and embarrassing as any other time. My eyes were open up a little bit. I'm going to do everything I can to move forward for a couple of months. I don't really want to. I fucking hate LA, but it seems like the move. It seems like that's the move right now. I talked to Gambling Dan and Joey Meathook. I think we are going to get together. We can make movies. Fuck, I know we can. I want to go to and hook up with them and do damage. Oh, saw Mark Hamill last night.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Holy shit. That was like you were reading hieroglyphics there, Grillo.
Oh, God. It's worse now. But you got to understand something. Understand something.
It's 7:00.
Oh, thank you very much. But you understand something. I was always on a train or a bus. So when I was writing it, regardless of how bad my handwriting is, it's the bus moving and jumping, which makes it 10 times worse. Oh, this is the year I went to Amsterdam, like you can see.
Oh my God, you're so cute. You're like a little boy. God. I love that you have these diaries.
Yeah.
But, when did you stop writing in them? I'm curious.
Oh, like when my ADD kicked in, like a couple years later. I have a bunch. I gotta dig through them. But like again, 2 of them, Adam Bomb has in like storage somewhere.
So I have a question. I want to ask you guys, and I want both of your opinions because I was Sion Z had this little tidbit today. I just agree with it. Okay, it says that the owner of Cameo said that High Pitch Eric makes in the low six figures on his Cameo account. And
yeah.
I'm just wondering what you guys think about that.
I have my fucking issues with High Pitch. Don't hate him, but I see his game and I know the way he rolls and how he like uses sympathy to get what he wants out of life and everything instead of just like, having a fucking job.
Is that his real voice?
More or less. Well, is Stuttering John's real stutter? I don't know. But it's I've had my issues with him because I see he plays on people's emotions to get things so he doesn't have to do anything. And when I found out that Hank the Angry Dwarf was making six figures, I wasn't angry because he was doing appearances and he was out there doing shit like that, and I guess Cameo. But Hank had a disability.
Hank would have killed it on Cameo.
What do you how do you feel about that?
I think Hank would have killed it on Cameo, and I think that I love you for at least somebody who looks a little bit Horace.
That's a little bit easier. I can go to dinner now and then.
Not that I look anything like that, but okay, we'll take it. I think that you're such a dick. You're such a dick. I cannot wait to get back at you. I cannot wait. I am at a deficit right now, you motherfucker.
Noah, I'm a fan, Noah.
You should be a fan for Noah for so many reasons.
Exactly. Noah's the lifesaver.
He puts up with me. He made all this happen. He got fucking everything. There's so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that Eric still being on SSI, it really just is a burn to fucking society, and the fact that he's still able to live in like housing that's provided for him.
You gotta understand something. When I had my pizzeria, he was in some assisted living. It's not too far from where I am right now.
Yeah.
And like somebody felt bad for him and actually called the pizzeria and paid for a pizza to go over there. And I went over to his apartment, and he was living with somebody else that died. I don't know who that was. I forget. But I saw his dog where it was so overgrown. It was stuffed in a cage where it couldn't move.
I don't want to hear this.
It was like so horrible what he was doing to that dog. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? He almost got me fired from one of the clubs I worked at because he called up and said Grillo said to put me on the VIP table. And thank God it wasn't the other owner because I would have got fired, and it was just like he's done a couple of things that rub me the wrong way. And I just never been a big fan of his. And he tried to friend me, and I'm like, if I'm friends with you, I know you're just trying to get something out of me, so fuck you. And he did that to Ivy Supersonic for a really long time. And I hated when he did that to her as well because I love her.
Yeah, Joey Boots is the guy who passed away.
Yeah, no, he wasn't living with Joey Boots. It was way after Joey Boots.
Oh, really? Because Joey,
people were playing the. It sounds like he's playing the system,
Yeah.
I just found it fascinating that he could make that much money on Cameo.
I you know what? I'm not surprised again because Hank was making that money, doing appearances all over the country, making that kind of money. So I'm not surprised because people do love the wackiness of the Stern Show, and but I don't want any ill will because it's like if the guy needs to eat. So, but all right. So real quick, it's almost 6:55. Anybody's got something to plug? I know Radio Gunk, you do.
I do. So I'm going to be doing a live show tomorrow night, which will be kind of interesting. And it's basically about the things we miss about the old Howard Stern show. So we're doing a Stern fan.
So you're doing like 18 hours straight?
No, we're doing a Stern fan square table, and and it should be a really fun show. And then I'm hoping that you and Chauncey will be able to record something with me next week about scores. Because I really want to get into that.
Yeah. I got plenty. You know me.
I know you do. So we'll be doing
It's all in there, baby. So, all right. So, Jesse,
if you have to pick up the post today, there's my story on Richard Branson and Donald Trump in there about how Donald wrote him a letter and tried to tell Richard that you can't run an airline.
That's our president.
Did I say more?
Yeah, you go.
That's my president.
So, all right. So I got
Airways.
Yeah. So, there's Bright Shot. That's always the first and foremost that took care of this show, baby, the show, and helped me get to where I am. They're the best LED light in the country. Excuse me. They will be the movie business will be opening back up again. And if you're crazy, you will not use Bright Shot. If you're smart, you will. Best at
what is happening with that?
Well, it's Roy knows. He's been doing a lot of different research, but it's going to be opening up in studios with a lot of, I guess, stipulations. But best LED light in the business, and then there's Prosecco Palms, Alyssa Marie with her lifestyle blog. You want to go check out what she's doing in this pandemic and how she's handling it, and she's awesome. The Richard at Prinzy.com. We got F Sharp Tax Management. You still didn't get your taxes done, you better talk to Richard because he saved my life. He can save yours. Then we got Party Bibs. They make anything on T-shirts and stuff like that. They did our face masks, which are awesome, and I appreciate that. They were great. And then, of course, put up the rings. Yo, Sterling Assault, my boy Alfie. Nice. You want something personal made and jewelry, he can do anything. He has a catalog at sterlingassault.com. If you want to order from there, it's unbelievable. He's the most amazing person ever. And if you mention Grillo's AftershockXL, you get 10% off. And then don't forget about our merch page.
Awesome.
Boom. We got all this cool shit thanks to Noah. To go to merchandise, Grillo AftershockXL.com. Like, share, do whatever you got to do. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to have people be angry at me right now. If you're on Facebook, come check me out.
Nice to meet you, Monique.
Oh, nice meeting you, Jesse.
Yeah, you guys were great. Great show. Fucking hysterical.
Yeah, it was
funny. It. Yeah, it was fun.
You got a new fan here.
Yeah.
Keep those images coming. Man.
Yeah, no, I was chucking. Yeah, no, it's me. No, it was just, it was me.
That is me. That is me. I'm not gonna lie.
That was great.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. That is me.
So thank you so much for it. Noah, great job. But I was texting Noah everything. So don't take it out. He's just doing what I asked him to do. Don't be like that. He's such a sensitive kid. Leave him alone. All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.